use that, and to end you need to use this. So here you need to end the comment before your H2 element begins. Comment out your H1 element and your P element, but not your H2 element, okay? But not your pitched. So if we do this, and then we move that, if we can move this to there. Then we have the cat photo one. There you go. 46. Delete HTML elements. Our phone doesn't have much vertical space. Let's remove the unnecessary elements so we can start building our cat photo app. Delete your H1 elements so you can simplify our view. Okay. Run the test. There you go. Now HTML5 introduces more descriptive HTML tags. These include main, header, footer, nav, video, article, section, and others. These tags give a descriptive structure to your HTML, make your HTML easier to read, and help with search engine optimization and accessibility. The main HTML tag helps search engines and other developers find the main content of your page. So example usage, your main element with two child elements nested inside. So main, be hello world, hello paragraph, main. Many of the new HTML5 tags and their benefits are covered in the applied accessibility section. So create a second P element after existing P element following Kitty Ipsum text, okay? Then create a main element and nest the two P elements inside the main element, alright? So we can have main, and we can have a closing main element. We can do P, closing P, and we can move this down here, and paste, and run. There you go. Add images to your website. You can add images to your website by using the image element and point to a specific image's URL using the source attribute. An example of this would be image source, free cat photo app. So note the image elements are self-closing. All image elements must have an alt attribute. The text inside an alt attribute is used for screen readers to improve accessibility and is displayed if the image fails to load. Alright, so note, if the image is purely decorative, using an empty alt attribute is a best practice. Ideally, the alt attribute should not contain special characters unless needed. Let's add an alt attribute to our image example above. So we have the alt attribute, a business cat wearing a necktie. There you go, alt. So let's try to add an image to our website. Within the existing main element, insert an image element before the existing P elements. Now set the source attribute so that it points to the URL. Okay, so finally don't forget to give your image element an alt attribute with applicable text. Okay. So we'll create an image element, image, and we'll set the source equal to bit.ly FCC. There you go. And finally, I'll try to be with applicable text. Alt equal to cat. Now we'll close, we'll run the tests, and we get a tick. And so the next one, link to external pages with anchor elements. So you can use A anchor elements to link to content outside your web page. So A elements need a destination web address called an href attribute. They also need anchor text. Here's an example. A href https freecodecamp.org. This links to freecodecamp.org. Then your browser will display the text. This links to freecodecamp.org as a link you can click, and that link will take you to the web address https freecodecamp.org. So create an A element that links to https freecode cat photo app and has cat photos as its anchor. Okay. href equal to cat. Run the test. Anchor text for cat. Alright, so /a cat photos. Control V and run. There you go. Now if we do a anchor elements, link to internal sections of the page with anchor elements. Alright, so we'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment below what your thoughts are on web development, and good luck. Alright, so now we're going to be doing a video on anchor elements in HTML5. So the heading is link to internal sections of a page with anchor elements. Alright, so we're going to practice this code. Some basic HTML with FreeCodeCamp, and let's get right into it. So A. Anchor elements can also be used to create internal links to jump to different sections within a web page. To create an internal link, you assign the link's href attribute to a hash symbol, plus the value of the ID attribute for the element that you want to internally link to, usually further down the page. You then need to add the same ID attribute to the element you are linking to. An ID is an attribute that uniquely describes an element. So below is an example of an internal anchor link and its target element. So ahref contacts header contacts h2 ID equal contacts header h2. Okay. So when users click the contacts link, they'll be taken to the section of the web page with the contacts header element. So change your external link to an internal link by changing the href attribute to hashtag footer and the text from cat photos to jump to bottom. Okay. So a href target blank href hashtag footer, and we'll do we'll enter the words jump to bottom. Now we'll have removed the target blank attribute from the anchor tag since this causes the link document to open in a new window. Alright, so we'll remove target. Now then add an ID attribute with a value of footer to the footer element at the bottom of the page. Okay. B equal to footer. Now if you run, we get a tick. Nice. So nest an anchor element within a paragraph. Okay. You can nest links within other text elements. So here's an A target blank href link to freecodecamp.org. Alright. Let's break down the example. Normal text is wrapped in the P element. Here's a ... for you. Next is the anchor tag element, which requires a closing tag A. There's the anchor tag. So target is an anchor tag attribute that specifies where to open the link. The value blank specifies to open the link in a new tab. The href is an anchor tag attribute that contains URL addresses of the link. So HTTP the text link to freecodecamp within the A element is called anchor text and will display the link to click. Anchor text here. Within the element is called the anchor text. Okay, the final output of the example will look like this. Here's a link to freecodecamp.org for you to follow. So nest the existing A element within the new P element. The new paragraph should have text that says view more cat photos, where cat photos is a link and the rest is plain text. Alright. So we'll nest it inside of a new P element. Control Z. P element. The new paragraph should have text that says view more cats. Alright. And where cat photos is a link, the rest is plain text. Okay. Well, there you go. Get a tick. Right now, cat photos. You can see cat photos here. Nice. Alright, so make dead links using the hash symbol. Alright, so sometimes you want to add any elements to your website before you know where they will link. So this is also handy when you're changing the behavior of a link using JavaScript, which we'll learn about later. So the current value of the href attribute is a link that points to freecatphotoapp.com. Replace the href attribute value with a hashtag, also known as hash symbol, to create a dead link. So let's replace it. For example, href. Okay, we'll replace it with a hash symbol for a dead link. There you go. Run. Now we're 68% of the way through. So turn an image into a link. You can make elements into links by nesting them within an A element. Nest your image within an A element. Here's an example. So ahref hashtag image source alt chickens. Remember to use hashtag as your A element's href property in order to turn it into a dead link. Place the existing image element within an A anchor element. Once you've done this, hover over your image with your cursor. Your cursor's normal pointer should become the link clicker pointer. The photo is now a link. Alright. So we wrap this in an A tag. And then we let the href A tag equal to a dead link hashtag test. There we go. 68. So the next few videos will be working through the rest of this. So thanks for watching. Comment below what you're using to learn the code, and I wish you luck. Thank you. Alright, so now we're going to be learning about some more of Zero to Mastery Web Development course on Udemy. So in this section we're going to be going over CSS and some basic CSS. So how this is going to work is I'll copy down the code from the ZDM course, and then we will see what the results are. So okay, now we have a body. Okay, so we have a test HTML. If we wanted to make a new one, make this test 1.html. Now we can do the structure here by using an exclamation mark and then pressing enter. We have title of CSS, and if we wanted a link, we can have a link tag here, which we'll use later. And now there we go, we have header, body header, rows nav, and an unordered list with 3 items. href as well, and a tag inside this li. href about HTML about, then we'll have another one, and a tag inside this, which will give us href login.html. Make this one's name login. Alright, and that's 2 things there complete. Now we're going to skip ahead. So we'll have CSS with new file style one.css. I'll add these properties here. So h2 color pink, save, p, all p tags, color pink. P and a color of gray, and since it goes down like downwards in specificity, I'd say the color would be gray, because we're making it gray after we make it pink. So now let's open that in test. You can see here. Now what we need to do is import the link for the style sheet. So we'll do that in a few minutes. I do CSS title. Alright, so we need the link here. Link out of style sheet hr equals style one.css, and then do type equals text slash CSS. Now you can see create li background color black. I save. Now you can see we changed the li elements. I don't really want that because that's a bit messy. Alright, so we changed it to red there. That just goes to show an example for you. Now if we go to skip a bit more, we have li login, lorem ipsum, color white. So we can also have inline styles, which is where we add styles in the lines of the HTML. So close these down, lots of these up. Just a few Python stock trading scripts I was making earlier. And we have this. Alright, so test1.html. We'll have inline CSS. Below here we can have style. that's the end of that lesson. So now we'll remove this style from the code. We can comment it out. So now CSS properties.
And welcome back. Let's make this website a little bit prettier than it is now.
So we want to make the website prettier. So we have a header, we have a section down below, and we'll have H2 home, and a P of lorem ipsum. P of lorem ipsum. Alright, now CSS, or back to CSS properties. I'm going to edit some properties now. Alright, so we have a background image, okay. So in style1.css we want to add a background image. Body, background image, and the URL link to it. Background image dot JPEG. And we can do background size should be color. Right, now we can do H2, have a color red, and a text align center, and a border of 5 solid purple. This style alone, and we can do for li, we'll have no list style, no. Now let's see what we done. Alright, so we have this now. Background image, okay. Image. Alright, now let's go ahead. Color pink, we can have some gradients. Color, let's see, we want some RGB. Or we can have Control C, and we can do hashtag AA4139. See what that gives us? Purple. Cursor pointer. And we can do a display of inline block. Right, save. And we have RGBA values as well. We can use the color picker tool. Alright, so that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. You can see here inline block, what it does, it puts all in line. Purple pointer, the cursor pointer, that's what that does. And lorem ipsum is changed to grey. So thanks for watching. Because P was here, color grey, so lorem ipsum gets turned to grey from here. Lorem ipsum. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Comment below anything you're learning at the moment, and good luck. Alright, so now we're going through some more of Andrew Neogi's CDM web development course, and we're on CSS at the moment. So in the last videos we were looking at CSS properties and your first CSS stuff, like files and setup and connecting it to HTML. So now we're going to be looking at this, so I'm going to go to the end of the video and copy down the code as we go along. So now we're looking at classes. Alright, so we'll make a div tag, a divider, then put in P, and have multiple P tags. We'll put the classes of web text in each one. So we have class equal to web text. Okay, we have lorem there. So just Control C, and then actually just X out them other ones. And now we'll have another one, web text and active class. We'll skip ahead. We'll see what we can have here. Alright, so P color green. Let's change the color of the P tags to green, and it's the lowest down, so it'll affect the P tags. this will be the end result. That's how CSS works. The last one is the one like that's the highest authority in the file. So now we'll have that's li display inline, and now we'll make the .web text class here, and we'll make it border of 5 pixels. We'll have dashed green. We'll see what this does. And here you go, look, we have lorem, all these p tags with web text class, and they give them dash green border. Very nice. Now it's not the prettiest looking website, but this is just for an example. Alright, so dot active color, and we'll do red. Next we'll do hashtag div1 background color RGB, do an RGB value, and then we can have hashtag div2 background RGB, this one. Alright, actually if we want to change that to what he has, we can have 0.2, so the last one's for opacity. 0.2. Let's have a look. There you go, we haven't actually added the div classes to any of them yet. So now what selectors went out in the cascade depends on specificity, importance, and source order. So and above that we have element plus element last row, all these different CSS methods. So you can go to CSS specificity counter as well. Style 2, CSS text align right. If we did this for all content, text align right, it will align everything on the page to the right. So as you can see here, everything's aligned to the right now. So we'll add the div tags to the HTML. We'll do home gnome lorem ipsum login about section style equals color red, ID of red, home, and then we have a div. Okay, so we have ID equal to div1, and PID web text active, ID inner equals inner. Right, so that's that. See what's after happen. There you go. We have our different opacity properties. Now for the next episode, 5 minutes bang on, so we'll do CSS selectors. Here's a fun little game for you to practice your CSS selectors. You always come back to this CSS selector game, okay? So type select elements by their type. Select all elements of type A. Type refers to the type of tag. So div p a u, all different element types. Div selects all div elements. P selects all p elements. Okay. So what do we want to select? Select the apple on the plate, okay. Plate, apple. Plate plus apple. And apple. Let's just select B inside of AB, so it's called a descendant because it's inside of another element. All strong elements are inside of any P. So all any span elements that are inside of fancy. So if we did plate hashtag table plate apple. There we go. You can combine any selector with the descendant selector. Inside of elements with ID cool. Okay, so select the pickle on the fancy plate. Okay. Hashtag fancy, then pickle. Fancy pickle. There we go. Just like the small apples. Hashtag small. The apple. Hashtag small. No. What if we just did small? Class selector selects all elements with that class. Attribute elements can only have one ID for many classes. Alright, so class small, and there we go. So dot for classes. And now A dot class, you combine the class selector. You can combine the class selector with other selectors like the type selector. So UL not important selects all UL elements that have class important. Big wide selects all elements with ID big that also have class wide. Alright. So select the small oranges. So if we go orange dot small, there we go. Now select the small oranges in the bentos. So if we go bento orange dot small, all oranges in the bentos. Orange. Put you back into by what you've learned the last few levels to solve this one. Orange dot small. There we go. So select all the plates and bentos. So A combine selectors with comments. Thanks to Shatner technology, this selects all A and B elements. You can combine any selectors this way and you can specify more than two. So P font selects all P elements as well as all elements with class font. AP div selects all A, P and div elements. Okay. So select all the plates and bentos. So if we go plates, comma, bentos. Plate to bento. There we go. All the things. You can just do all. So you can select everything. You can select all elements with the universal selector. Select all any elements inside of P. There we go. Select everything on a plate. So A dot asterisk selects all elements inside of A. P selects every element inside of P elements. UL dot fancies selects every element inside of all UL class fancy elements. Okay, so plate dot. There we go. Alright, so that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to keep up on your coding skills. Comment below what your favorite coding games are, and good luck. Alright, so here's another episode on CSS text and font properties in web development and just general concepts in web development. So we're working our way through the CSS section of the Zero to Mastery course. So how this is going to work is I'll copy down the code from the video, how we can work through it, and I'll go along explaining it as I go. So if you have a code editor or your computer, I'd recommend you open it up and type along with me. That way you'll learn better. So let's get right into it. Alright, so we have the all selector asterisk here. See what he does. First child, different specificity properties. Alright, so we have a p tag here. Line height 20 pixels. And a font style of italic. With a font weight of bold. Font weight bold. And a font size of 80%. 80%. Now the font family will be Times New Roman. Times New Roman Times, and then Georgia. There we go. Now the next one for the web text class, we'll be doing web text with first child. First child. We'll change this to a border of 5 pixels dashed green. And then we'll have a dot active with the color of red. Dot active class with the color of red. Okay. And now we're going to do a h2 plus a p tag. h2 tag plus a p tag plus a p tag, which is going to set the color to hashtag AA4139. Alright, semicolon. We'll go open Sans Google Fonts, downloading the Purette 1 font. Font family Purette 1 cursive, okay. So now we have font family of Purette 1 and then the cursive. Value of that. So now if we go, or we can import it using Google Fonts APIs. So if we wanted to do that, we could go Google Montserrat. So we'll just import the Montserrat font for the sake of the tutorial. Right, so we go down, license. If we can copy and now select this style, and we can import it using the link. Import style, import URL. We have the link relative style sheet href. Yeah, we can copy that into our header, our head tag. Let's go head style, Control V. I'll be back in a second. Alright, sorry about that guys, I was just closing my blinds. Now we have font family loaded up. You can see here the link to the href CSS rules specify. Relative style sheet, there we go. Now on to the next episode.
And welcome back. I'll show you a property that is
We have after this section. About section. Okay, and then below that we can have an image tag, source alt, llama. We'll have the link of find a llama somewhere. Llama. Copy this, copy image address, and then Control V into here, and we can go back to our thing, and now we want to edit that. Add image float left, alright. So now we can do image and float left. Now the image will be floating on the left. Actually, we want to make it smaller though. We want to make that image smaller. So we can have width is 50, height equal to 500. That's really weird, 500. Or if we make it 200, height of 200. That looks better, so it's on the left. Actually put it in. Control X below the P tag. See if that makes a difference. You can see here. Yep. If we had a footer clear both. Okay, so we have a footer tag, and we clear, and then both. Right, now we can do test1.html. Have a footer. Let's see what that does. There we go, we have a footer at the bottom. How will we align that? Text align center. Text align center. There we go. And now we have the box model in CSS.
Add more space inside of these for the left. Well, in that case, we use something like padding.
Alright, so we have a box. For an example. So below test 1, we'll put in a new section. Boxes. And we'll have a H2. Now we can do a div tag. Div with class equal to box model. And we can copy them. Do tree. Do A, B, C. We can have a login here. Alright. We'll add some styles to them. Okay. Now let's have a look. Dot box model. The styles will have a border, 5 pixels, solid red. Display inline block, and padding 5 pixels, 20 pixels, 5 pixels, 20 pixels. Then we can have a margin of 0 pixels, 20 pixels, 0 pixels, and 20 pixels. Now we can see in the developer tab the elements, the different padding properties here. So if we go F12, we can see the padding at the bottom. the elements, and we can see the padding down here. So if we select these, you can see this property here, padding, border, margin. Alright, so then we carry on with 33 pixels, with 45 pixels, margin 0, 20 pixels. So remove these two, and 5, 20 pixels. It'll just repeat over. Then if we have width of 33 pixels, height of 55 pixels. Now we can carry on, and we'll see. Go in here, and we can select this. Select these elements, and we'll see width 33 and height of 55. Padding. So that's the padding. Box, border, and then the margin. So you can see we have 20 and 0 on top. Right, so that's the CSS properties. Box model. So inside, once again, 33 by 55. Then we have padding, 5, 20 pixels horizontally. Then we have a margin or a border of 5 pixels solid all around, and then we have a margin of 0 and 20 pixels on the sides. So now let's open up another view of PX versus EM versus REM. Alright, so now we can have page 2, and we'll make a new called test2.html. We can have the doc type there, and we'll do a link, and we'll do styles2.css. Now we'll have a page 2, happy, and we'll have a P of our ipsum, and we'll close this. We'll do a span here, and we'll put that inside of it. Control V. And now if we go to, and if we link to styles2.css, which will create that nice styles2.css, then we can do h2, color blue, p, font size 5 pixels, we can do span, font size 5 REM. And now if we were to open this up, test2, open with live server, you can see we have alarm ipsum, $set and happy here. Zoom out and you see. So that's what 5rem does. It's relative to the text. So this is 5 times bigger than the other text. And if we were to change this to 2rem, it'd be 2 times bigger than happy. So that's that, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment down below what you're currently learning and what courses you're using, and if you'd like to learn day trading or how to build Python scripts for day trading bots, let me know, because they're the next kind of videos we'll be making on the channel. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you. Alright, so today we're going to be doing some more of Andrei Niobe's Zero to Mastery course. So I'm going to be typing out the code and explaining it as I go along. So we're just moving off to advanced CSS, which should take about half an hour. So stay tuned and we'll get going now. So it's time to test your CSS skills. We have a quiz and we have interactive CSS for W3 skills. So we'll go through this first. Start the CSS quiz, the test. Alright, so get certified, kickstart your career, get certified by completing the CSS course. Get certified. self-paced, $95. Front-end development courses.